What's up guys, my name is Liam, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Rawm Sa-Mh01. I know that that's a mouthful, but I was taking a look at this. It has some pretty cool looking features, like it does have a swappable shell. There's even an internal design that allows you to easily change out the switches without any type of soldering or anything like that. So how does this stack up against competition, and more importantly, is this going to be the perfect gaming mouse for you? Let's check it out. And before we get started today, I did want to let you know this was sent out to me. However, everything you'll be hearing in this video is going to be my own words and my own opinions. I wanted to showcase the unboxing experience for you, since it is pretty cool. As you can see here on this side, this is where they do have a removable shell with holes in it. Then you do have the mouse over here on the left hand side. This does come with skates on it, but I did remove them, and I'll show you why here just a little bit. But then you do have some switches it does include, and they give you a set of the Kel 8.0s. These are, I believe, Huano silent switches, and then an extra set of the Huano blue shell pink dots. It does come installed with switches in it. And then here is the wireless receiver. There's the top view. You do have an LED indicator down here, a rubberized bottom. It does come with a screwdriver also to open the mouse up. And here is the USB-C cable that it does come included with. It also does come with an extra set of skates, documentation. They do also include 2 extra screws down here at the bottom in case when you're opening this up and taking them apart, you do lose one of them. So that is a nice touch. A little plastic pick to help you open it up and pry the top shell apart from the base. And that does come with these grips. Not a fan at all of these grips. They don't really feel grippy at all. So coming back over to the mouse, the bottom function here, real simple. You do have an option to turn on or off the mouse right here, which is a simple button. DPI button, and then over here you have a choice between the wireless receiver that comes included with it, or it does also have a Bluetooth mode. The skate design on this, I do like the skate design a lot, that they use this bigger style skate design. It does, however, come with these plaque style PTFE skates. Not so much a fan of these. For those of you that know, these are a bit slower and muddier feeling style of skates. But coming back over to the top, the build design and shell integrity on this has honestly been very solid. Even if I push really hard here in the center, I don't get any massive flex or anything that actuates the side buttons. And this actually does come with a really great coating on it. So this coating, it does feel rubberized and it is very grippy. The one thing that I did want to mention, however, is something with the tolerances on mouse 1 and 2. They're not that loose, like you don't really notice it when you're using the mouse, but I did notice time to time if I were to like slam the mouse down, and I will demonstrate this. You probably can't hear it very good right now, but you do get some kind of like rattling noise going on. When I did open this up, I was trying to take a look at it. When I had this top shell off, I didn't notice any rattling at all with the internals. I did come to find that it is something with the top shell right here itself. When I did switch over to the other shell with the holes in it, I'm not having the issue on the other shell, but just something I figured I would bring up. Not really a major deal or anything like that. It was just a small annoyance to me when I first got it. But again, it's only when I'm really being really aggressive with the mouse and slamming it all around. But the switches that do come included in here, obviously you get your choice of mechanical switches, and you get that great mechanical switch feeling. So the tolerances on this with the pre and post travel, there's just a slight bit of play there. Not a lot, but the clicks all around, they do just feel pretty good. I'm getting just a little bit more play over here on the right side. Nothing too bad. When you come up to the front, a little bit more. Can make contact with the shell. And not a whole lot of left to right play there. So click implementation on this feels pretty decent wherever you click it from. It honestly doesn't get very much heavier in the back. So pretty solid implementation all around. Like I said, just perhaps they could tighten up the tolerances on this top shell for whatever reason, just a little bit loose. But the scroll on here feels pretty standard. You get these very lightly defined steps. It is a little bit on the lighter end, and the center scroll wheel is actually pretty easy to click, so it doesn't feel too stiff. And then when it comes to the side buttons, they feel okay. It's kind of just the same thing on these. A little bit looser on the tolerances there. As you can see, some play on the pre-travel, and it's just that way no matter where you press it from, even if you press it here towards the rear. But I don't feel like it's too much more noticeable in the rear. It's just kind of the same all the way from front to back. But then once that you do click it in, light clicks, it does have a bit of post travel there. So if you push hard and are aggressive on the side buttons, you can kind of push the rear one into the shell quite a bit there. Not so much of an issue on this front one. So the overall implementation on the buttons on this mouse, you know, is just okay. It does need some work with tightening up the tolerances there on the side buttons and on clicks 1 and 2. So let's go ahead and drop a sound click comparison. And like I mentioned, I'll go ahead and try and demonstrate the other things I've been noticing in here for you as well. So when it comes to the balance, out of the box, the balance on this has felt spot on. It really does have solid front to back and left to right. And if you do decide to pick this up, when you're taking this apart, there are no screws up here on the top half, so you do not need to remove the top skate. You only need to remove the bottom skate. I do kind of wish that they had some type of design on the bottom skate where they punched holes where the screw holes are. It would obviously make it a lot easier so you don't have to keep removing the bottom skate every time that you did want to open this up. But aside from that, here is a look of what the internals look like. The base itself is going to come in at approximately 43.0 grams. If you put the bigger size full solid shell on there, looks like it's about 67.3 grams. And then this other shell on there actually makes it a little bit heavier, which is a little bit confusing to me. And since I forgot to put the skates on there, you're going to add an additional 2.3 grams with the included skates. So the fact that the top shell with holes in it is a little bit heavier, I obviously do very easily prefer the one with no holes in it. It does feel a little bit better. You do kind of notice them, not that much of a major deal, but that's what you're looking at as far as that goes. And let me just show you the switch design really quick here. Really simple, not really a whole lot to say about it. There's nothing you need to do. As you can see, you could just take any mechanical switch, just plop it right in there. It really is just that simple. For the software, they do have two separate options. You can either use their web-based driver or there's one to download. I do believe that in order to install the new firmware updates for the mouse and for the dongle, that you do have to actually download the physical application for the desktop. But really straightforward and simple. A lot of great options in here. Allows you to adjust your liftoff distance, pulling rate. It does allow you to drop the debounce setting down to 1 millisecond, and it looks like it has just about all the options that I look for when I am tuning my mice. I do want to apologize, I am not able to bring you guys any type of click latency testing numbers. I did hook this up to my XLAT system, and the XLAT is not currently recognizing it. I've been trying to get my hands on other systems like the LDAT. Unfortunately, I've been unsuccessful in doing so, but I do promise you guys, if I do get any updates on this in the future, if there's a new firmware from XLAT that does fix this issue or anything like that, I will let you guys know as soon as I get a chance. So when it comes to the shape of this is actually a clone of the Razer Viper V3 Pro. They do have a mini version as well, and that one I believe is named the SH01 Pro. I've been in contact with them. That's one that I'm actually really excited to check out. It's obviously just going to be a mini version of the Viper V3 Pro, which a lot of people are excited to get their hands on. And it does come in at a little bit lighter of a weight, coming around 55 grams. So I will be reviewing that on my channel shortly after I get my hands on it, which will hopefully be very soon. But with that being said, there's not a whole lot to say about it other than the fact that it is just very similar to the Razer Viper V3 Pro. So let's just go ahead and jump straight into the comparisons. So over here on the right hand side, we do have the Viper V3 Pro, and I would say that this mouse does feel like it's just a little bit larger than the Viper V3 Pro, but coming over here on the bottom, as you can see, the curve profile on it looks pretty similar to one another. And then taking a look at both of these from the rear, as you can see, just all the curves and everything really not that far apart. They're not exactly identical. Some minor differences. Might feel just a little bit more narrow on the top of the Razer Viper V3 Pro, but then here is a look of the side of both of them. And then lastly, when comparing it to the ATK X1 Pro, also another Viper V3 Pro clone, taking a look at the bottom, lots of similarities there on the rear profile again, and not exactly identical, but very close on the curved profile down to the sides. And then finally, here is one last look over here on the sides. Alright guys, so that about wraps things up on the MH01. Very clearly, since this is pretty much a Viper V3 clone, the shape about it is great. The one thing is, however, is with all the competition out there, I do feel like this is a little bit on the higher end of the weight, coming in right under 70 grams. So for me, it is harder to recommend it over the other two options that are very comparable to this. I really do like the overall design of this, how it does have the mechanical switches in it. Very easy to swap to whatever type of switch that you want to. If they were to get the weight down on this under 60 grams, tighten up the tolerances on mouse 1 and 2 and on the side buttons just a little bit more, and give us some better skates, then that would put it at a much more competitive point in the market. So if you guys have any additional questions or feel like I left anything out, please let me know down in the comments below. If you have enjoyed watching this video and are interested in seeing more videos like this in the future, please drop this video a like and subscribe to my channel. And thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.